Court calls 2015-360 State of Arkansas versus Austin Dutton. Are you Mr. Dutton?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Dutton, I've called your case. It's Baxter County Criminal Case CR 2015-360. You're here for arraignment on charges of possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, which is a Class D felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, Class D felony, possession of a controlled substance, a Class A misdemeanor, driving left of center, unclassified misdemeanor, no liability insurance, and fictitious tags. Have you made any arrangements at this point to be represented by an attorney?
No, sir, I have not.
What are your plans?
Public defender.
Okay, so you're planning to make application to the public defender's office?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there should be forms there at the jail available for you to fill out and get that application applied for, and the public defender's office is available for that appointment. I just want to make sure you understand the availability of the public defender's office, but what triggers all of that is you're getting that application filled out and turned in so it gets submitted for an appointment. On the charges, I read off the charges earlier. On those charges, how do you now plead?
I'm going to enter a plea on his behalf of not guilty. He's filled out some information. He's not filled out the affidavit, but in anticipation that we'll be representing him, I'll enter a plea of not guilty. Waive formal reading of the charges. I'm going to ask that he be brought over this afternoon. I think we may be able to dispose of his case this afternoon.
All right. I'll do it then.
And he can complete the paperwork when he comes over then.
Okay. Did you hear that and understand that, Mr. Dutton?
Yes, sir.
This is Mr. Cooper as the public defender. When he heard you were applying, he spoke up on your behalf. He's entered a plea of not guilty on your behalf and is proposing that you be brought over this afternoon, and we'll see if we can't get the paperwork filled out and perhaps even dispose of the case this afternoon. All right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You may be excused at this time. Okay, call 2015-357, State of Arkansas versus Zach Graham. Mr. Graham, can you hear the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
And can you see the courtroom as you
Yes,
sit
I
there?
can.
Very good. Mr. Graham, you're appearing at this time for arraignment on charges of capital murder, Class Y felony, and arson, a Class Y felony, 2 counts.
Your Honor, may I interject if you don't mind?
Yes,
please?
sir.
It's my understanding from the local office, for the record, Greg Parrish with the Public Defender Commission. It's my understanding from Ms. Russo that maybe the court entered an order yesterday appointing my office. Can the court confirm that?
I think I don't recall that. Was one submitted? Okay, Tuesday. Yeah, that's right. Yes, I did. That's right.
When these came about, I asked Ms. Russo to go ahead and start the process to try to speed this thing up a little bit.
Yes,
So,
that's right. I did make that appointment.
thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Graham, at this point, you're represented by the Public Defender's Office. Let me, at this time, we're here for formal arraignment. Formal arraignment includes the reading of the information. It's going to take a minute, so listen carefully. This is in the matter of the State of Arkansas versus Zach Graham, charge of capital murder, Class Y felony, arson, Class Y felony, 2 counts, aggravated robbery, Class Y felony, theft of property, Class B felony. theft of property, Class D felony. All of those are charges that have been filed against you. By information, the information reads as follows: I, David Etheridge, prosecuting attorney within and for the 14th Judicial Circuit of the State of Arkansas, of which Baxter County is a part, in the name and by the authority of the State of Arkansas, on oath accuse the defendant, Zach Graham, of the crimes of capital murder, Class Y felony, arson, Class Y felony, 2 counts, aggravated robbery, Class Y felony, theft of property, Class B felony, theft of property, Class D felony. A
Your
person.
Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but at this point, since if it would expedite the proceedings, we'll waive further arraignment on this matter if that
All
would
right.
help the court to expedite this matter, and just proceed forward
All right.
if that's permissible with the court.
That's fine with the court, as long as it's the right to have the information read is waived. At this time, Mr. Graham, the purpose of arraignment is to allow you to enter a formal plea on the charges that I've read off. Have you? Well, you haven't had a chance, I take it, to discuss the charges with your client, with your attorney, have you?
No, I have not.
All right.
Your Honor, we would enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of Mr. Graham.
Court is noting for the record a plea of not guilty. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed in this case, and that will be the plea in this case. At this time, the court notes that this matter is assigned to the Division III docket of Judge Putman, and I'm going to tentatively set it down for an appearance before Judge Putman at his next court appearance here in Baxter County, which is December 10th.
May I be heard, Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, as the court is aware, the requirements based upon the nature of the charge will require the appointment of 2 attorneys for Mr. Graham. That will come out of my office in Little Rock. We also have 2 other defendants on the arraignment this morning that I already have counsel for one of those. I'm going to ask the court to afford me 72 hours to appoint those 2 counsel to represent Mr. Graham, who will be obligated to notify the court and Mr. Etheridge of the representation, and I will further advise them of the December 10th date the court has set.
All right. Very well.
One other matter, Your Honor, I think that needs to be addressed. Mr. Etheridge has been very courteous, and we've spoken. I believe there are some pleadings filed under seal in this matter, and I think they will remain under seal. With the assurance of Mr. Etheridge, if he desires those to be lifted, counsel for Mr. Graham will have the opportunity to respond and object or acquiesce in the lifting. Have I properly stated that, Mr. Etheridge?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Very well. That'll be the order of the court. At this time, I had, in order to read them aloud, I had unsealed the envelope containing the information. At this time, I've resealed it in the envelope and am returning it to the file. All right. Mr. Graham, did you understand the arrangements that are being made? That the Public Defender's Office is going to make formal appointment of 2 lawyers to represent you in this case. That decision will be made in the next 3 days, and they will be in touch with you. Your next appearance in court right now is scheduled for the 10th of December in front of Judge Putman, who is the judge who's been assigned to your case. The court would advise you that at this time the court is not setting a formal bond setting bond in your case. The court will consider issues of bonds at such time as the investigations into these crimes are completed. and will based on having full knowledge of what of the status of the case at that point, the court will consider bond. Certainly, I would expect, at least that's what how this court's going to handle it. It will be up to Judge Putman, of course, he will be the one who will be presiding over your case, and he'll ultimately make the decision on setting a bond in your case. All right. You have any other questions?
No.
All right. You may be excused at this time.